Suicide Squad number 12, written by Adam Glass, art by Fernando Dagnino. Last issue we left off with the squad being off the grid. Waller couldn't find them, and they got abducted by an ancient Mayan civilization that's going to sacrifice them because, yeah, that's just a Tuesday. So we see them being tied up. It looks like the first ones to be sacrificed are going to be King Shark and El Diablo. And they're trying to figure out a plan of like, okay, how do we get out of this? And entire time Deadshot's like, oh, now you guys are looking to work as a team. Seems to me like before you were holding a mutiny. And they're like, yeah, things changed, Deadshot. Get with the times. But before literally anything can happen, a whole bunch of snipers come in and start shooting all the Mayans. And they're like, oh, it turns out Waller actually could find us that whole time. Good thing we didn't do anything stupid, guys, right? But as it turns out, these aren't Waller's agents. They're Basilisk soldiers. And they're being led by Captain Boomerang. If you remember, Captain Boomerang was left to Basilisk because he killed one of their high-ranking members, I think. And so turns out he smooth-talked his way to joining the organization. And now he's like a captain in their little army. So they take all the Suicide Squad, keep them all bound up, and then take them through the jungle to a Basilisk headquarters. And he's like, all right, here's the thing. You're either going to die here or you're going to join in. So go ahead and choose. And everyone gets to sit in like this little like back of a pickup truck except for Deadshot, who is being dragged behind on a chain. So definitely interesting. But anyway, the leader of Basilisk steps out, Regulus, and everyone's like, oh my god, Regulus, he's so majestic, so leaderful. And he just walks up to Harley and says like, Harley, you're standing instead of kneeling. Boom, throws her to the ground. And at that point, Black Spider steps up and just be like, no one attacks our teammates, and argues about like, oh, the last time I saw you, I wasn't fast enough, but I've gotten stronger. To which Regulus just turns around, grabs him by the neck, and then throws him through like a mountain. And then pretty much everybody else just steps up and is just like, anybody else? Yeah? Anyone want it? No? Okay, cool. So here's the deal. This is Masada. This is a concentration camp, more or less. However, turns out that everyone here is being put to work. However, it's a choice whether they stay or not. All these people know that a war is coming with like all the superheroes and like end of times or whatnot. And Basilisk is offering safety and freedom and whatnot as their essential god. So a few more people step up, try to attack, but he's like, all right, well, that's not going to work at all. So go ahead, Captain Boomerang, please show them to their rooms. Let them think about whether or not they want to join us, and then we will see what they do. And remember, you don't owe anything to Waller. So Captain Boomerang leads them with some guards down the hall, gets in an argument with Deadshot about how much of a coward he is, and then they start fighting each other. And in the middle of the fight, Captain Boomerang looks like he's about to slice off Deadshot's head, but instead he goes for his restraints, and then they all have a breakout together. Turns out he was a double agent, a triple agent, maybe just a double agent. I lost track of who he's supposed to be with. Anyway, they all start breaking their way out, and they're like, okay, I've been talking with some generals, whatever. Not everybody here is on the up and up with Basilisk, but I've got us a way out. So once the signal from the guard tower comes out, we can make our way through the door. And so they start making their way out, and as they are literally at the last stop, like the last exit point, they all are Captain Boomerang's electrocuted, and we see the traitor in the group is Black Spider. He shows up and he's like, yeah, here's the deal. I was never actually really loyal to the Suicide Squad. Like, I joined in because I like killing villains. If you guys just call me a hero, I just like killing villains. So whatever. So turns out that, yeah, he's been working with Basilisk the whole time. And at that point, the squad's like, whatever, it's still like 6 against 1. Like, we're going to take you down. And he's like, is it though? And he says the magic code word to activate his sleeper agents. Turns out that he's got sleeper agents with King Shark, El Diablo. What was his name? Iceberg? I feel like I've said that 4 times now of what his name is. And they're all now teamed up against Deadshot and Harley Quinn, who are the only ones who didn't get hypnotized. So, yep, that's the thing. And at that point, Deadshot's like, well, we'll still manage to take you down and stop you. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, my plan's in motion in like 7 different areas right now. And we cut to Lafayette, Louisiana, where Step 2 has started. And Amanda Waller has come into her home to find that I believe it's her mother or her aunt. She says Nana, so I don't know. But anyway, is being held at knife point by a basilisk agent. So there's your thing. It's good. I mean, I don't know why we did the Mayan thing. That genuinely feels like it was like, what's the most crazy cliffhanger we could end this issue on? I know. Sacrifice to a Mayan god. I like the Captain Boomerang returning thing, and then they've been teasing this traitor thing for a while. I'd have to really go back and reread to see whether or not Black Spider was hinted at all, or whether or not this was a thing where it could have been anybody the entire time, but it was fine. It was a good enough reveal. As soon as they did it, I wasn't like, no, there's no way he'd do that. Because when they explained it, he was like, no, I just like killing villains. Like, that's exactly in line with what Basilisk is doing. They don't like superpowered people. Dun-dun-dun. So, I'm okay with the reveal all across the board. It was a fine issue. My only real critique with it is that while it was doing so much, they were prior to this building up Regulus as like this huge threat. And then when they come across him, yes, he's able to single-handedly deal with everybody. But he also like was totally diplomatic. Like it seemed like they were pumping him up to be this massive like hulking monster, and then he's just like, no, I'm going to let you guys join if you're actually interested. Maybe he's just going to double cross. I don't know. They've double crossed him already, so they're probably not going to get let in. Regardless, I don't know. It just seemed a little bit weird that the big reveal of this character they've been hyping up so hard is kind of like the B plot. Like Captain Boomerang was really the A plot of the story. And then I guess the B plot would be Black Spider, which would push Regulus to the C plot, and that just seemed weird. But overall, good issue. Not great, but just good. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7 sounds too high, so I guess I'll give it a 6.5. It's fine, though. Don't take anything that I say there as it's awful. It's a fine issue, but it is just the larger part of the story as a whole.